Okay, Lisa Destiny, according to your present geographical position, you are operating in the exclusive economic zone of Venezuela.
Welcome back to the final takeaway. Subscribe today for instant updates right to your phone or other devices. We are now accepting VIP memberships. Just click the join button below to enjoy exclusive benefits. The Guyana government and stakeholders are keeping a close eye on the recent escalation of tension and open aggression by Venezuela against the country's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Bharat Jagdeo, who is the country's vice president and general secretary of the ruling People's Progressive Party, or the PPP, minced no words when he said the government continues to collaborate with its allies to ensure that, quote, any Venezuelan aggression that manifests itself in a physical form would be dealt with appropriately. Jagdeo asserted the country's confidence in handling the border controversy at a weekly press briefing. But don't be surprised if Venezuela interprets Guyana's recent statement as a threat or as Guyana plotting a war plan against the Spanish-speaking nation just across the border. Venezuela's president, Nicolasmaduro, was quick to accuse Guyana of seeking war, with his country days after a warship belonging to Venezuela made an unlawful entry into Guyana's exclusive economic zone. The vessel approached the Liza Destiny, which is one of ExxonMobil's floating production, storage, and offloading units, or FPSOs. Using radio communication, a sailor aboard the warship asked the captain of the Liza Destiny a ton of questions. The captain stayed calm and answered questions only pertaining to establishing its maritime location. Many of the questions coming from the Army ship, including the intrusive ones, were met with a simple, quote, no comment response by Liza Destiny's captain. The speaker on the Venezuelan ship then informed Liza Destiny's captain that ExxonMobil's vessel was located in Venezuela's exclusive economic zone, or the EEZ zone.
Okay, Lisa Destiny, according to your present geographical position, you are operating in the exclusive economic zone of Venezuela.
This is the maritime area where oil exploration is ongoing and is located off of Guyana's western border. Guyana has sovereign rights to the zone based on the 1899 arbitral award that granted those rights. Guyana's rights to the EEZ are also recognized internationally and, more importantly, under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas, or UNCLOS. The law lays out specific rules for the use of the world's oceans and seas and their resources. Despite Guyana securing well-established rights to the EEZ, Venezuela continues to lay claim to oil-rich blocks within the area, including the Stabroek block, where ExxonMobil is drilling for oil. Maduro's escalation of aggressive statements and actions coincided with the time Guyana discovered oil and began oil exploration within its EEZ zone. Exxon is currently churning out around 600,000 barrels of oil per day, with long-term revenue potentials in the billions of dollars, too much to calculate on a Casio calculator. The oil discovery and potential for billions of dollars in revenue for both Guyana and Exxon seem to have inspired Maduro to reactivate old claims to the Guyanese territory. For those who may not know much about the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, the issue goes back more than a century. Check out our videos listed on the channel page to gain more insight and awareness on what the issue is all about. And just an FYI, the matter concerning Venezuela's claims to Essequibo, a region that is an established part of Guyana, along with the EEZ zone, those claims have been made to the International Court of Justice, or the World Court as we know it, The two countries are awaiting the court's decision on whether the 1899 title that gave Guyana rights to the contested areas is valid. In the meantime, Guyana and Venezuela are bound by the World Court's warning to avoid doing or saying anything that could be interpreted as a physical or non-physical form of aggression. That includes threats of force. Getting back to the Venezuelan Navy ship incursion, that act is in direct breach of the Argyll Declaration the two countries signed in December of 2023 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Most significantly, the breaching of the Guyana's maritime zone goes against the 2023 decision and warning by the International Court of Justice. Following the ICJ's 2023 ruling, Presidents Irfaanali and Nicolasmaduro agreed to use a peaceful approach to resolve the border issue. This includes avoiding acts or threats of acts that are considered aggression under international law. The incursion was met with instant condemnation by local, regional, and international bodies. Arguably, the strongest words came from the United States State Department, Bureau of the Western Hemisphere Affairs. In a statement posted on Elon Musk's X platform, the U.S. reprimanded Venezuela and threatened that any further acts of aggression by Venezuela would be met with consequences for the Maduro regime. Guyana did not hesitate to inform the Caribbean Community Secretariat, also known as CARICOM, and the International Court of Justice about the incursion. Following the unprecedented incident, Maduro went on a rant on Venezuela television and doubled down on the warship's activities in Guyana's waters. He went on to call Guyana's President Irfaanali the Zelensky of the Caribbean, referring to Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky, whose country is at war with Russia. Maduro later accused Guyana of plotting a war plan against Venezuela and threatened that his country, that's Maduro's country, would employ diplomatic and armed forces to defend its claims to Essequibo. Around the same time, Maduro demanded President Irfaanali meet with him urgently face-to-face to discuss the border issue under the peace agreement called the Argyll Declaration. "Meet with me or are you afraid?" he asked Ali. Guyana's head of state was unmoved by his demands. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo later confirmed that the president has no current plans to engage with Maduro, but that it was solely the decision of the Guyanese head of state on whether he thinks the two countries can have a productive meeting. Last we heard, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, traveled to Caracas to meet with President Maduro. Gonsalves is an official interlocutor under the Argyll Declaration. In other words, he's the go-between guy or the mediator, as you may say, whose role is activated in situations like these when the two presidents cannot see eye to eye. Well, guys, that's all for now. Thank you for subscribing and sharing our videos. And yes, do meet with me again right here on The Final Takeaway.